It's your boy Mark Gray from the SportsGroove Lab. That's right, where you mix up all the ingredients and you come up with the SportsGroove radio program. Weeknights 7 to 10 on News Talk 1450 WOL and WOLAM.com. So that would be 4 to 7 Pacific time. And for those of you in the middle, you guys just figured it out. But we've gotten to the most fun part of the college basketball season. It is the Final Four. And though yours truly got plenty of other things to do around the way than to travel to San Antonio, my boys are all over it. Some of those outstanding guests who contribute to my show mightily will share their perspectives with us. And no better time than now to head to the Groove Line and let's check in with my man, Scoop Jackson from ESPN.com's page 2. Scoop, I've only got 2 teams left standing in this Final Four, UCLA and North Carolina. Do you think those 2 teams might be on a collision course towards meeting in the championship game?
I think so. I agree with you 100%. But once again, I think, and I hate to throw this word out, the destiny phase in this, is going to play a role in this, because I really do believe that at the end of the day, and that's why I think Clark Kellogg was able to pick, for the first time, the top seeded teams are going to go in, because, Mark, let's really be honest with each other. The 4 teams that have made it are the 4 best teams in the country. And and you look at the way the game's went, and no disrespect to Davidson, because Davidson did their thing, and Stephen Curry he's magical. And that shows you that. But you look at the rest, they were blowing teams out for 15, 20. Those 4 teams separated themselves from everybody else. The truth of those 4 teams, Carolina and UCLA, are going to separate themselves from Kansas and Memphis, and show that these 2 teams throughout the whole season were the 2 best teams in college basketball.
Thanks a lot, Scoop. Now to my boy, Dave Sims from CBS Sports and Westwood One's coverage of the 2008 NCAA tournament on radio. Dave, of course, also the mild-mannered broadcaster who happens to do play-by-play for the Seattle Mariners television and radio network. Dave, on a scale of 5 balls, with 5 balls being, the best Final Four ever, and 1 ball being that Final Four we just soon forget, give me a sense. How many balls are you giving this one going in?
It potentially could be a 5. I mean, this could be totally off the chart. This could be. The thing that's interesting, UCLA can run, but they'd rather. I think they'd rather play a mid-tempo. Kansas wants to giddy up, Memphis wants to run, and North Carolina wants to run. So in terms of wow factor, if you're CBS Sports, whoever's directing the game on TV better stay wide. There's going to be a lot of long passes, even after made baskets. So I think that. This has a chance to, don't go anywhere. If you can't watch it live, you better tape it, because it's going to be worth it.
So, Dave, what's your gut telling you? Who's going to be cutting the nets down come Monday? Are you leaning towards Kansas?
I don't know. I just got a feeling Kansas. Now that Self got over, he finally got there to the Final Four. I'm going to give him, I'm going to lean towards them, but either way, I know Bill a little bit. I know Calipari a little bit better. I know Howland a little bit. I don't know Roy as well, but they're all good guys. Obviously, great coaches. I'm a sort of right now. I sort of lean on this date. I'm gonna go with Kansas.
Dave Sims bringing it. Thanks a lot, Dave. Now to my man Dwayne Ballen, my former broadcast partner on MEAC football and basketball broadcast. Now a play-by-play announcer for ESPNU. DB has covered the ACC for over 20 years, and he has seen the Final Four. So it makes you wonder how I ended up with more gray hair than he's got. But anyway, DB, you've covered a lot of Final Fours, and do you think UCLA may have an advantage because this is the 3rd time in 3 years that they've gotten there?
I think so. I think in the end, the fact that Westbrook and Collison and even Ship, those guys are – it's as you know, Mark, the Final Four is a different animal. There's so many other components that come into play. It's a big stage. And as talented as Chris Douglas Roberts is and Rose is, it does make a difference to me when you have someone who's been around for a little bit. And for UCLA having been to the successive Final Fours, I think it makes a big difference. And probably one of the other big keys is going to be how they match up with Kevin Love and what Joey Dorsey does. I think he's the X factor for Memphis.
DB, you've been on Carolina all season long. Are you staying with them now that we've gotten to San Antonio?
I think Carolina's perimeter. One, it starts with with the job I think they're doing much better defensively, because going in the regular season, they weren't the greatest defensive team in the country. But I think they're playing much better defense over the last couple of weeks. Again, the perimeter defenders, then inside combination of Alex Stevenson and Deion Thompson changed things so much. And Tyler Hansbrough is just a wonder. He's going to deliver for you. So I'm going with Carolina and UCLA.
Thanks, DB. That's why you're the guru. Dwayne Ballen, ESPNU and Ballen Media, always getting it done. Speaking of getting it done, lastly, Stephen Bardo, you played in the 1989 NCAA Final Four. And you also were one of the culprits in Glenn Rice dropping 29 as Illinois fell to the eventual national champions. So give me a sense of what the week leading up to the Final Four is like for the players. I mean, it's got to be one of the most exciting times in your life, but it also has to be a little bit nerve-wracking, isn't it?
Hit it on the head, man, in terms of, getting ready, the preparation, the practices are easy, but going to class, walking around campus, everybody and their mama wants to talk about how excited they are, what they're looking forward to. Everybody's got a strategy that they want you to think about, and it can be nerve-wracking, it can be overwhelming, and what a lot of coaches try to do is sequester the players as much as possible and try to keep them away from as many people as possible, because not only are the fans and students really excited and alumni of schools, but your family and friends that you've known all your lives are excited as well. So it's a wonderful weekend leading up to it. It is also nerve-wracking.
All right, Steve, as an analyst and a baller, who's playing the best basketball right now heading into San Antonio?
Memphis or North Carolina, as I'd have to give them a tie in terms of peaking at the right time. Ty Lawson going down with an injury was a blessing in disguise for this North Carolina team, because now they can play more than just one way. They don't have to play fast every time. They can slow you down a little bit. Ty Lawson can hit the three. Hansbrough starting to hit jumpers. Ellington is not only shooting jumpers, but he's going to the hole. Stevenson and Thompson are filling that void at the 4 position. So North Carolina is playing out of their mind, but also you look at what Memphis was able to accomplish. They went into Houston and beat Texas in an Elite 8 game. So that's basically a road game for an Elite 8 game, and they took apart a Texas team that was maybe the scariest of any team in the tournament with potential to upset any team. So I would have to tip my hat and split it between North Carolina and Memphis as playing the best basketball.
Stephen Bardo holding it down. Ballers do know ballers, and I'm inclined to roll a little bit with what Bardo says. Then again, did you ever notice how the team that has been there the last 3 years now got no love from any of my analysts? Although Scoop does say that it looks like destiny is going to bring North Carolina and UCLA to the championship game come Monday night. Of course, on my sheet of integrity, and I'll show you that after the tournament, I do have UCLA knocking off North Carolina in a 78-70 type of white knuckle slugfest to determine the 2008 Men's National Basketball Championship. Well, that's how I see it. Want to thank my boy, Scoop Jackson from ESPN.com's Page 2. Also want to thank Dave Sims from CBS Sports and Westwood One's coverage of the NCAA tournament. Thanks also to Dwayne Ballen, our guru of social edification from ESPNU and Ballen Media. We certainly want to thank a 1989 Final Four alum in Stephen Bardo, pride of the Fighting Illini, though they're just the Illini these days. Don't forget, we'll have more of this kind of same flavor from SportsGroove TV, and catch the SportsGroove radio program weeknights from 7 to 10 Eastern Time on News Talk 1450 WOL and on the World Wide Web at WOLAM.com. And you can catch that from 4 to 7 Pacific Time. And for those of you folks in the middle, you know the deal. You figure it out. Till next time, it's your boy Mark Gray. Holla back.